Tales from the Wasteland by Strain of the Stress. Chapter 1. What a Wonderful World. Hey there, Blue. What's that music? Piper sauntered onto the roof of the metal shack, which had since become her home, speaking as she topped the last step, cocking her head to listen to the unfamiliar music floating in the air. By modern standards, the structure was practically luxurious. Hours put in to ensure no wind came through the metal walls, no whistling at night during the rad storms, little wooden walls in between the bedroom, the dining room, even the fully powered kitchen. But she still saw the sadness in Will's eyes when he walked in, the furtive glances down the street to the skeleton of a house, which stood lone testament to the life he had before all this, before the bombs, before the war. Ah, this is getting exciting.
Is this some Fallout crap?
Yeah. Oh, just a holodisc I found in a cabinet during that last outing. One of my favorites. The melody drifted on the air between them, a raspy voice floating on top of swaying strings, a soft beat keeping it grounded in time. Beneath, in between the words and the music, a sense of melancholy, happiness could be felt. A sense of melancholy happiness could be felt. The color blue in bright sunshine. Even as she approached, Piper could see the arched shoulders to the thick green fabric of Will's now customary fatigues. The glassy blue eyes as he looked out into the sunset, which was blossoming over the Commonwealth. Red and oranges casting themselves over the wasteland as she sat down. She spoke softly, crossing one leg and throwing her arm across the bench behind her shoulders. Yeah, what's it called? I don't think I've ever heard Travis play it, and trust me, I've heard all his songs. Will didn't look at her as he spoke, a small, bittersweet smile playing at the corners of his mouth before he spoke. It's old. Piper arched her eyebrows, a comment knocking at her lips. Will laughed shortly. Even by my standards, the name's What a Wonderful World, by a guy named Louis Armstrong. About 300 years ago. The sun sank steadily lower in the sky, the small bank of clouds hovering over the horizon glowing in the cast sunlight, the mist around Sanctuary Hills taking on an ethereal quality as the world changed into its nightmare. Danger and intrigue creeping from the shadows. Piper sat there, watching as the stars began to shine through the last remnants of sunlight peeking through the amber clouds, the last chords of the song playing before reaching in soft static, the speakers cutting as they reached the end of the album. Silence ruled as they listened to the soft hum of the generators in the center of the settlement. Sturge's hammer interrupting with staccato blows to some unprepared piece of equipment. Will spoke first. We used to listen to it back before the war. Hell, even before that. Back in the army, we'd be overseas, and there'd be nothing but the war after all. It was almost too much sometimes. But whenever it was, I'd steal some quiet space, somewhere nobody could find me, and listen to this. Don't do that. I recommend you don't do that.
There's a freaking werewolf over here.
You crap by a werewolf. I'm reading Fallout fanfiction. Chill the shit out, man. Seconds passed before Piper spoke, thinking over what she was going to say, scooting closer and resting her head on Will's. Her voice quiet, private as they watched the stars crawl out from their lighted cover. You know, when I first saw you, I wasn't certain what to make of you. You were so different, like you couldn't even get used to the space you were standing up. Your blue jumpsuit gave it away, but I had no idea how different you were. I mean, frozen for 200 years only to wake up to this wasteland? And then doing everything you've done? Throwing safety to the wind and going after your son, and here I thought my life had been exciting. William laughed slightly at the lightly shrouded compliment as the stars winked at him from above. His head turned upwards as he enjoyed the weight of her head on his shoulder. But the thing is, you're amazing, seriously, and not he can nail a rider a few hundred yards, amazing, because that's what's impressive. What I mean is, you're amazing because you can just keep going. After all the shit life has thrown at you, even just in the past 2-3 months, you just keep on going. I've lived in Diamond City most of my life. I've watched people lose their businesses, their houses, even family members, and they've either just ignored it or broken down. And it doesn't matter what they say, ignoring it is not staying strong, it's staying scared of the world outside our convenient little walls and gods. But you didn't. You got thrown into a world which only existed in your nightmares, and you kept going. You've done more than kept going. Blue. Yeah, it's a bit much, but I hate to break it to you. You're a bit much too. Wait. Bullshit. I don't fucking know how long it is, but you know, I don't know if I have the stamina to keep going.
You should probably just stop.
No, I can never stop. I'm by the boss. Where? Oh, there you are. Okay.
You mean you're by the boss?
Alright.
I'm by the boss.
Will's head turned down from the stars. What?
Shut up.
No, you! God damn it! I'm trying to read this fucking story.
No one gives. I haven't even listening to whatever the hell you're reading.
Give a shit if you're not listening. I'm listening to myself.
I have one vial, by the way.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. Will turned his head down from the stars, a thin smile pestering his lips as he laughed tenuously at Piper's pep talk. A little mirth had been in his eyes, quickly giving way to sadness. The light from the fire a few hundred yards away reflected with deeper blues and tones of grief. His voice was quiet, almost hoarse. I just miss it sometimes. So badly I want to wake up in my bed in my house and hear Codsworth cooking breakfast and Sean in his crib, walk outside and see my neighbours heading to work and hear the kids playing in the street. I know it will never come back, but it's hard sometimes to believe that this is real. And damn it, it doesn't change much. I miss the world before the bombs. My world.
What is this crap?
Some bullshit fanfiction, don't sweat it. That's my voice acting, because I like to think that he has multiple accents.
Have the same for the same guy?
Yeah. This story is just two characters. It's just Piper and backstab. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay. Concern passed over Piper's face as she turned her head to watch the tears slowly roll down William's face. In his eyes shut in a helpless effort to hold them back. It was rare to see him like this. I lost my place. Admitting how much he missed the world before. The pre-war world had been a touchy topic, one they typically avoided for obvious reasons. 2 months was not nearly enough time to deal with the end of the world. Some of the ghouls on a good neighbor had taken 200 years and still hadn't dealt with it. She sat up, taking Will's head
to her shoulder as she felt her soft sobs run through her torso, stroking his short brown hair while he made
in soft sound. Oh crap! While he made soft sounds under the top of his head. God damn.
Stay at